My name is Griffin McAllister. Today I'm going to make a lot of generalizations about humans and our universe. Up until 70,000 years ago, we sapiens were a very average human species, but that changed. It began with sophisticated brains, which gave us better language, and then imagination. These two abilities revolutionized human life. Language allowed us to share our perceptions of the physical world, and imagination spawned metaphysical belief, which gave reason for larger and larger groups of people to cooperate. About 40,000 years ago, someone carved the Stendhal lion man, as seen here, in the Lone Valley in Germany, the oldest representation of something that did not exist. Non-material beliefs are what hold societies together, and they're not just religious. Our current neoliberal Western society is governed entirely by a completely false concept, that of money and market. The economy is the core of our community, yet it holds no bearing in reality. Money is just another symbol. Assuming the artistic process is intertwined with the conceptual process, or the process of imagination, we can now ask what happens in this process as a whole. How do people imagine? Though imagination is the process of... Things must be created based on other things that have been perceived. As time progresses, symbols of perceived and imagined reality collect and mingle in what is known as the unconscious. Artists go to that space. It is a space where others cannot or do not want to go, a space which is often real and dangerous, and they report back from there. Matthew Day Jackson. My conscious mind works with my unconscious mind when I create my images. There are infinite boundaries between the various levels of the mind. Roger Bailing. In his creative work, the artist is dependent on sources and resources deriving from the spiritual unconscious. Victor Frankl. I feel on some deep internal level that through my painting practice I'm engaged in a psychic process that illuminates the vessels and cogs of an insidious current that stems. Sean Thornton. Now, there's an interesting story surrounding this artist that I thought I'd share. It's that during the several years while he was in art school, he had an undiagnosed tumor in his brain, and during that time he received several psychotic episodes featuring visions and different things. And while he was doing this, he was making art surrounding the mythology of the third eye, the place where he had his cancer in his pineal gland, the gland responsible for the production of different hormones like serotonin and DMT, and has been featured in numerous religions and spiritual practices. Because art is always in relationship to a belief or a culture, it is heavily dependent on context. Our society is changing fast, and history progresses at an exponential rate, which makes it difficult to create art that maintains relevance. However, we also have more access to more information than ever before, which gives artists an even greater pool of symbols to draw upon. Despite this being an interesting period for art making, fine art is a rather isolated and exclusive craft. The practical arts, such as architecture and design, have boomed because they can contribute to the economic framework of belief that I mentioned before. But fine art, by its very nature, is repulsed from mass production, which is why there is so much art about consumerism. The national stream of consciousness moves faster and is broader now, but it seems to run less deep. Rod Burnham, person from Zen and the Arc of Universal Maintenance. And now we'll talk about my own art. The themes, or the central theme in all my recent pieces, are that of Negretto, or rebirth. Some other names or substitutes are the Night Sea Journey and the Dark Night of the Soul. Negretto is the first step in alchemy in making the Philosopher's Stone, and is basically a recipe for a spiritual progression. These are some large pieces in charcoal and acrylic on canvas, and in these, the theme of Negretto is represented through societal downfall, a theme that is very present in the modern mind. You can also see reference to our modern myth, that of commerce. You can see this in the piles of rubble in the one piece, and the broken bridge structure in the other. They're named conchoidal fracture 1 and 2, a reference to the type of fracture required for making stone tools, type that when you hit the stone, the fracture it makes. Because art is always in a direct connection to society's myth, we can use it to change that myth. And if there's anything I would like you to take away from this talk, it's that Work can be more fun than playing golf. Thanks for being here.